All right. Welcome everyone to I don't know what we're called. Welcome to our Friday eBay live. I forgot what I titled this, but we're every Friday I'm meeting with Val as she's trying to get her eBay business up and running. Last week I think we just kind of talked about eBay and Poshmark. Maybe talked a little bit about goals, and then today I think Val, you said one of your big concerns was shipping, right?
Yes.
So we're gonna tackle shipping a little bit today. So if you guys have any questions or anything, just let us know. Thanks for joining us, Akeisha. Here, let me get over to YouTube and see if I can stream this. Maybe get my a little has nothing to do with eBay, but I had 1,000 subscribers this morning, so
I
I'm
wrote that
excited.
down, top of my notes. 1K subs.
So now I gotta get the watch time,
Yep.
and I'm a
Are
long
you
way
close
from.
on that?
No, because
Oh.
I hadn't been making videos until I guess about a month ago. I started again,
Mm-hmm.
so I think I've got like no. I'm hold on. Let me. All right, there's the double. Okay, no, I'm like at 1.1k hours. So, but I'm averaging like 30 to 40 hours a day, which is better than what I was doing. So, yeah, I'll be on track. We were talking about this in the group with Scott and Alton and the guys that consistency is the key, whether it's reselling or YouTube or anything. You
Mm-hmm.
just got to keep showing up every day or whatever your schedule is.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so yeah, let's talk shipping. Did you get any new listings up this week, or are you waiting till you?
Yeah, I got 20 or 21 up. It took me a bit longer because I would list it on Poshmark and then I'd go right away and put it on eBay. And I tried my best to do my titles like you told me to. My descriptions, they're the same right now. I had that written at the bottom of my little list here to look at your listings if we have time at the end of the stream to look at your
Sure.
descriptions.
Yeah, and I'm not saying mine are perfect. If mine were perfect, I'd probably be selling more. But yeah, we can look at all that. And a matter of fact, I think that's the best way to do it. So let me do this. I'm going to share the screen, and then we will look at one of my listings and focus primarily on shipping, plus anything else. Let's see. Okay, there we go. All right. Let me go to my active listings. And the cool thing about this is there's so much information in here, like where you can send offers, you can promote, but with just the listings, I think currently I have it sorted by most recently listed, which yeah, I just listed these. So we'll look at dang, if we quit scrolling. It says you have too many listings. Too many. Too many listings that aren't selling. All right, let's just look at these right here. All right, so if I click on and you can see the screen, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
I'm always paranoid about that. All right, so you got the title, which like on these are a pair of Wrangler's boys jeans, which I don't know why Clay brought me boy jeans, but he breeds me all the jeans. He told me he doesn't know the difference. So anyway, so the brand, what it is, Wrangler jeans, gender, in this case, boys, size 16. And then on boys jeans, I put the waist measurements. And then the other keywords, like this is the style number for that. It's 13 MWZ, which I sell a lot of these, by the way. These leather tab Wranglers for like $20 to $25, $20 to $30. And the BP, I don't know, maybe that's boys. And then, the other keywords, I use cowboy, rodeo, western. And in this case, it's medium wash. I put the SKU. It's pre-owned, good condition. Now, I've been experimenting. Normally, I put the front profile picture, but I don't know. It seems like they're selling better on these when I use this picture of the close-up of the Wrangler leather tab.
Mm-hmm.
We'll just kind of go through these. It's Wrangler, blue, size 16, boot cut boys jeans, regular fit, denim, zip. Put the inseam in the waist. That's critical. Material is denim. It's not vintage, so I don't fill it out. No activities. I don't know. Is rodeo in there? No. These wouldn't be good for hiking. Oh, here it is. Under themes, I put cowboy and rodeo. And then all I do is I copy and paste the title, and I use these templates. Like you can create templates under advanced, like right here would be create one, or you can edit one right here under manage. So I have them created for the categories I use the most, which blazers, jackets, hats, jeans, which this one is, shoes. I've got 2 for shoes for some reason. And what that brings up, and we can go over that sometime. Like when I plug in like jeans, if this was brand new, I'd plug it in and it would pull up all of this except for the measurements. So then I just go in and plug in the actual measurements. I just do a little blurb about same or next day shipping, and I'm trying to get more followers because eBay is really pushing people back to our stores. So I let them know I put hundreds of new items in each week, and then they can check them out, follow my store, and I give them the link. I don't know how effective that is, but it can't hurt. And then I got these listed at $19.99. I use Terapeak a lot of the times when I'm well, those were Joe's jeans. I didn't use them on this case, but if I'm not really familiar or I want to double check the pricing, I'll use Terapeak to get quick pricing. I do accept offers, require immediate payment, 60-day free returns. All right, now and here's really our focus. So all that was just getting us to the shipping. So when you come down to the shipping, so you've done all this, right? You got a couple of options: flat rate or calculated. Flat is it's going to be the same price to every buyer wherever they're at. Calculate is going to vary by location. The consensus is, at least in our group, that flat rate is better because, like, if you're in Florida and you sell a pair of jeans to California, if it's calculated, the shipping's going to be way higher, and so basically you're going to lose a big chunk of potential buyers for that reason. So I use flat rate, and the thought is I'm picking a price where I'm going to make a little bit of money on shipping, and it's standardized. So I would recommend flat rate, and then it's a matter of figuring out, well, what should that rate be, right? So flat rate. Now services, you got a bazillion services, and I think this is what freaks people out.
Yeah.
There's a couple of points, right? At 1 pound or less, it ships first class. So that's usually going to be $6 or less. And I would say it probably averages $4 to $5 for me on first class. I have a scale next to me, and if I'm not sure about something, I'll put it on the scale. But because I've listed so many things, like I know all jeans except for maybe like women's skinny jeans are gonna be over 1 pound. So 1 pound or less would be first class, and that would be this selection. And by the way, I select first class on all items, even if they're going to go priority, because it doesn't matter until you actually ship it. And what this does, this gives you like an extra day or two to get it to the customer versus priority. Because if it doesn't get to the customer on time, that can count towards a late shipment rate on your end. So by selecting first class, even though this is probably going to go priority, it just gives me an extra day or two, and it almost never comes into play. But that's just me being extra cautious. But so 1 pound or less will be first class, right? over 1 pound, and if you're just doing clothing, it seems like, so yours is probably going to be 1 to 5 pounds depending on what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And so when it comes to shipping, there are just a couple of basic things I ship in, and once I move to shoes, it's really going to go down to 2 or 3 things. So I use, what is this, 10 by 13 or 12 by 15 poly bag. These are primarily for under 1 pound, first class. If it's like, those jeans are probably going to go in this priority mail flat rate envelope, which you can get from USPS.com for free. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I order a bunch of them. I order like cases of them at a time because I use so many of these. Anything that you can stuff in here, and I send a lot of jeans. Like, these are the last jeans I listed, so these would just go in here, and I would stuff them. And if it's a little tight, I would just use a little tape to secure it. But that's mostly what my jeans go in. Now, if you're a top-rated seller, I think the rates just went up. I think this is $7.52 to ship in this. So by me charging $8.99, keep in mind that eBay actually does their final value fees on shipping and everything. So it's kind of booty. So this will cost me $7.52. So I make a little bit of money on shipping, not a lot. If it won't fit in there, my next thing I use is the flat rate padded envelope, also free from USPS.com. This one's a little bit bigger. I don't know if it won't fit in here. I'll put it in here, and if it won't fit in either of those, I got a couple of boxes I might use. Like for big cowboy boots, I have it's a large box through priority. It's a 12 by 12 by 8, but very few of those. Most of them, I would say 95% of my shipping is either a poly bag or a flat rate envelope, and maybe 4% goes in here, and maybe 1% I have to use something else. The other option from the drop down, now you see all of these, right? And it could be overwhelming. I guess we could talk about them.
Well, I don't know if it's because I don't have a store, but that's not what my screen looks like when I'm picking shipping. There's a lot less options than this.
Okay. Well, that's interesting. Like, do you know which options you have?
Yeah, there's calculated, and then it has like a little section where you can put the measurements of the box and how much it weighs. Or there's
Let's do
option for
this.
flat rate. You want me to pull it up?
Yeah, let me get out of mine.
And then, sorry, real quick before I show you my screen, and we're talking about your different envelopes and stuff, I got a stupid question for you. Okay, so first class is it weighs under a pound, right?
Right.
And I'm perfectly fine shipping it in this, right?
Absolutely.
Just a poly mailer.
Yep.
Which is what I've been doing, so I think I've been doing it right.
That's a cool looking poly mailer. Was that black?
No, it's a dark green.
Okay, that's unique, but yeah, that's fine.
So what are these? Is this different than a first class?
What's it
Do you
say
guys have these bigger ones?
What's it say, like, on the red?
Priority mail. Mailing envelope for domestic and international use. I use these for Poshmark for like sweaters and stuff. But is this the same thing as first class?
No, because it's priority mail. Anything marked priority mail is not first class. Poshmark has a deal set up with the post office where you can use any of their priority mail boxes, and they get charged the same rate. But that's not true anywhere else. So
this would just be weight, like you go by weight of the item. So it like something that weighs 2 pounds. Anybody in the chat know?
Yeah, I've never used that, but I just know what this is cheaper. This little envelope is cheaper. Lots of jeans go in here, some sweaters go in here. I would order this one because it's like I said, $7.52, and I'd also, the padded flat rate is $8 something, $8.30 something. I don't use that one as much, but those two and the poly will be most of the items that you're that you're going to ship from. ship with.
Okay. So I'm glad I didn't use it. I almost used it for an item today.
You probably could, but it's going to be what they're going to do is they're going to weigh it, and it's going to be priority mail by weight. Same thing if you used a poly bag, right? If you use one of these, it depends on where it's going. Sometimes, if it's not going too far, it's a little cheaper to ship priority. You can do first class or priority. If it's priority in a poly bag, if it's close, sometimes it's a little bit cheaper than this one. But this is flat rate anywhere in the United States, $7.52. And anything that'll fit in there is good to go. So yours would probably be more expensive. I don't think I've ever used it, but I'm almost sure it would.
Okay.
Because $7.52 for priority mail is really cheap, at least on the eBay site.
Okay, sorry, I'm pulling up my screen. What I see.
All right, no problem.
Okay, I'm ready to share my screen, I think.
All right, let's see.
Share. Whoops. Share screen. Share screen. Oh my goodness, so many steps to share.
Right, I'm waiting on
it. Let's see, what screen do I want to share? This one? I have multiple screens.
Yeah, there it is. Okay.
Okay.
Here we go. I'm adding it to the stream.
So this is what shows up at the bottom of my listings. I don't have like that huge drop down like you do. So you have the weight, the dimensions of your package, and normally I just hit I don't know the package details, and then I do the buyer pays the flat shipping. Right.
And that would be okay. So in that case, like you would want to pick what your flat rate shipping is going to be. There's a couple. I mean, one way to do it is, after you ship X amount of items, you kind of see what kind of the average is. Like it's okay to lose a little bit of money shipping. Like if I ship to Maine or California, it usually costs a little bit more than I charge. But most of the other ones, especially if it's, states closer to me, it's going to cost less. But in overall, what's kind of the average? And then I like to buffer that a little bit because I'm also doing free returns. So that's my thought process. So like on that one, whatever you're so what I would do is I would say, hey, what are you listing? What's the weight of it? If it's a pound or less, maybe you do $4.99 or $5.99 flat rate shipping. If it's a pair of jeans or a sweater or something that's say 2 pounds, maybe you do $7.99 or $8.99. If it goes over 2 pounds and it's not in one of those flat rate envelopes, then the shipping goes up. Like as I'm about to move back into shoes, I know a pair of shoes, like I use the shoebox, the 8515 when I don't put it in a poly bag. If it goes over 2 pounds, those can jump up a little bit as far as the shipping rate. So you got to figure out if it's a shirt, a top, a pound or less, pick that rate. Pair of jeans, pick that rate. If it's a jacket or a pair of shoes, pick a rate for that. Like the 4 rates that I use, first class, if it's a shirt, I'm putting it at $5.99. If it's a pair of jeans, I'm doing $8.99. If it's a pair of women's shoes, I'm doing $9.99. If it's a pair of men's shoes, I'm doing $11.99. If it's a heavy jacket or a pair of cowboy boots, I'm doing $14.99. So I have 5 price points that I use. And so they're going to pay that. And then when it comes time to ship, I'm actually weighing the item. And then I'm figuring out what is the cheapest way for me to ship it. And like someone in the chat, I think Jen's was saying, I'm usually doing what she is, the flat rate envelope I was showing you, or the padded flat rate envelope, or the poly bag.
Okay.
Sometimes I'll use a shoe box or the large box for boots.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, which that answered my first question that I had written down was when you're listing, do you take into account the weight? So you kind of do, but you really don't weigh it until you're actually in the shipping process. Because I was watching a lot of Josh's most recent video, and it looks like he weighs the item before he lists it, and he like takes a photo of the scale so he knows when he's listing?
Yeah. Well, for me, I guess because I don't know, I've shipped out thousands of packages over the
Mm-hmm.
past year. Like I just know what because I do flat rate, I don't need to weigh it at the time of listing.
Mm-hmm.
In my setup, this is where I ship from, and to my right,
Mm-hmm.
within an arm's length, is a scale, and I don't even have to use it for most items. Like if it's a shirt, I'm gonna put it in a poly bag. I'm gonna weigh it. Um, while it's weighing, you know, I put in the poly bag. You know, what do you call it? Put the adhesive on it, and then I print out the label. If it's a pair of jeans, unless it's light, and after a while, I can you get good at you just know
Yeah.
what it weighs. So I grab the flat rate envelope, stuff it in there. If it won't fit in there, I try the padded, and in between those three things, it's gonna fit in one of those. So yeah, I don't wait until I actually ship it because
Okay.
I pretty much know what it's gonna cost to ship it at the time of listing.
Okay. You want me to just read off my questions?
Sure, I'm
They're
just
not
reading it.
in any particular order. They're just kind of as I thought of them.
That's fine.
And you kind of already answered this one too, but calculated versus flat rate shipping, pros and cons for each of them, and then which is easier for a new seller?
Okay, I'm team flat rate.
Mm-hmm.
And once again, I always have to preface everything. I'm in Tech and Sports Group, and he's a and Chris Daily Refinement. Like they're massive influences on me,
Mm-hmm.
but their logic just sounds so flat rate. Well, here's the thing, right? First of all, you want to, depending on what you're selling, because we're doing clothes and shoes, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you were doing something else, you might want to do free shipping. I would not do free shipping on clothes, on clothes or shoes. Offering free returns, um, and I do flat rate shipping. So because I offer free returns, if they open a return for any reason, I'm automatically sending them. They're going to get the return label, and it's going to come back. Because I offer free returns, um, if they pick a reason, a bogus reason for the return, I will then report the buyer, and I can deduct up to 50%. I can withhold shipping, and I can deduct up to 50% of the cost of the item. So you only get that advantage if you did free shipping. Well, and you get a return, you're out the price of the original shipping, and you're also out the price of the return shipping. If you charge shipping and you do free returns, it's a wash. So
Mm-hmm.
you get the item back, and you list it. And like I was saying earlier, if you're doing calculated shipping, well, depending on where it's going to go in the country, you're going to get crazy looking numbers too, like
Mm-hmm.
1382. Just aesthetically, that looks horrible to me. Like I like 499, 599, 899. Just looks a little better.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not going to exclude half of the country, because if I'm in Texas and you're in Maine and you have calculated shipping on a pair of shoes, and I look at it, I'm like, man, it's gonna cost me $15.83 to get these shipped. I'm like, forget that. Even though it's a couple of dollars, you're theoretically losing on potential sales. Whereas
Mm-hmm.
if you do the average, because you're shipping lots of items, so if you lose a little bit on one, but you make a little bit on the other,
Mm-hmm.
over time those average out. So what is the average with a little bit of buffer? And that's what I do, and you're gonna get more sales that way,
Okay.
if that makes sense.
Yeah. Let's see. Number 3. Any different supplies than on Poshmark? Um, I hear people talking about. I think this is only if you have a store, but people talking about like their eBay coupons. Is there anything special? Like, are your boxes more special than a USPS box? No.
No, the shipping supplies are absolutely the same.
Okay.
Coupons really have nothing to do with shipping. We could talk about those on another episode. Like my whole day is a habit. Like when I'm shipping, I do send out codeless coupons to try to get repeat customers, but that really has nothing to do with the shipping process, to be honest. I also I got these little thank you cards. I don't know if I'm going to continue doing them. Just hopefully to try to get a little bit better feedback. I've also printed a little flyer with like a link to my store and a coupon code on that. I do think that doesn't hurt to try to have the customer contact you before there's a problem, before escalating it to eBay. And if you send a coupon code, which we can do an episode on that, then you're encouraging them to come shop at your store again. And especially if that's another good thing about niching down. If you're selling all similar items, if they bought American Eagle jeans from you and they had a good experience and they got a good deal, they're probably going to want to come back if you have lots of American Eagle jeans. Same thing with shoes. If you're in everything store, kind of like Clay, well, then they're not. And no, if I'm not slinging mud, I just saw his name, so it makes me. If you're in everything store, well, you're not focused on one area, so they're not going to come back to your store because they're looking for, maybe they love Tommy Bahama shirts, maybe they love Lululemon pants, whatever your niche is, it encourages repeat buyers. But basically the supplies are the same. The thing on eBay that I love is eBay gives you a lot more tools than Poshmark does, where you can run promotions, you can do coupons, you can encourage repeat buyers. You don't have those options on Poshmark, which is another reason eBay's better. But as far as the actual shipping process, I think Poshmark makes everything super easy, and that's probably why they're so popular. But eBay gives you a lot more tools and has the ability to scale as big of a business as you're capable of running. Did that answer it?
Yeah. And then my next question is completely off from that topic. Okay.
Wait. I'm sorry. I see Jen was talking about an eBay coupon. Oh, was that what you're asking about? If you bump up to an eBay store subscription, there's different levels. Every quarter, every 3 months, they do give you an eBay coupon, which is a credit that you can use to buy supplies from eBay, like boxes or poly bags. But that's only available, like what Jen is saying, if you have a store subscription. Yeah.
Okay. My next question is about Rollo printers. What do you use? Do you have a thermal printer?
Yep. Rollo printer, one of the best moves I ever made. If you're not using a thermal printer, you're doing it wrong.
I agree, and that's why I'm struggling with eBay and printing my labels. So in my posh room back there, I have a laptop set up, and I have my Rollo printers hooked up to it, and that's where I do Poshmark labels. But when I tried to print off my eBay labels in there, they're like they're facing the wrong way, and it's the wrong size, and I can't figure out how. I don't know if right off the bat you can talk me through it, or if you want to make a video showing people how to do it. Because I'm guessing there's settings somewhere in either eBay or...
Off the top of my head, I do not know. I remember when I set it up, I searched YouTube and I found a tutorial like how to set it up, but I can try to look at it and send you the link to the video or whatnot. But it's been over a year since I've done it. But once you have it set up, then there's no problems. And I know it definitely works with eBay. So
okay, I wasn't sure. I assumed it did work with eBay, the Rollo printer, but I've just been using my ink printer for eBay.
If anybody in the chat knows a link to that or could link her to a video on how to do that, that'd be awesome. But if not, I'll find it for you later. What's up, Tri Flippers? Thanks for stopping by. Josh. You can go ahead. I'm just kind of catch up on the
Okay, so the next one kind of answered itself after I wrote it down because I did a little research. I saw on Instagram somebody put a post saying that the USPS is going to stop making their flat rate bubble mailer. Did you see that anywhere?
Yeah, we taught fake news.
Okay, yeah, because I went to the site and I was like, well, we still have them here.
Everybody freaked out and hoarded them up, and they ran out for a short period of time because people I don't know. People get scared easily. But when I order supplies, like if I order flat rate envelopes, I order the max I can. And so like I'll get like a case or two at a time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's part of my procedures is when things get low, like you don't want to run out when you see things starting to get low, then you want to have a process to reorder. And I'm just a big proponent of habits and routines because then it takes a lot of the thinking out and you don't run out of supplies.
Mm-hmm. And on Poshmark, that doesn't matter as much. You use absolutely anything you want to ship.
Yeah, Poshmark makes it really easy. They figured that part out for sure. I think Poshmark's aimed at casual sellers, which is great. eBay gives you the ability, as I keep saying, to scale into
Mm-hmm.
any size business you want.
Mm-hmm.
and you're just going to get a lot more overall. You're gonna make more, depending on what you sell, but even with that, you're gonna make more on eBay than Poshmark. Even though I will say, like on shoes, now that I'm going back to shoes, like I do have some great sales on Poshmark, and that's been a big question in our group is this idea of cross listing to platforms, because in theory you're going to sell things faster, but then if you start calculating the time it takes to cross list, the time it takes to delist, the potential of double selling, if you put all that together, then you have to ask yourself, with all that time, would it be better just to get more listings up on eBay? But I think there's a lot of variables like your cash flow and what you're selling. I will say shoes do well on Poshmark, but if I built up a 10,000 item shoe store, which I'm crazy enough to I want to do that, then Poshmark is limiting because, well, let's say 11,000, I could only share up to 10,000 items per day. So versus somebody with 100 items in their Poshmark closet, they could share those 100 items like 100 times a day. And we know the search algorithm on Poshmark is based on recently shared. So, there's lots of variables, but I would say in general, cross listing, it's not good. Clay, wait. Clay doesn't sell on eBay. Clay sells locally. Clay and I were kind of, we were talking today.
He's doing pretty good at that, though.
No,
Selling
I
to
will
those
give him
stores.
credit.
I wish we had something like that. All of our like consignment stores, they're kind of just junk. We have 2 of them, and they're just junk.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, all right, I'm gonna keep it to myself. I want to list a lot on eBay and make the most I can. I don't want to take it to someone else to make money on me, unless it's something I really don't want to list. But like listings should not be in my opinion, listings shouldn't be an impediment to making money. It's not that hard. Like
Right.
you can list an item in 3, 4, 5, 6 minutes. It's easy.
Mm-hmm.
But that has nothing to do with shipping. I don't know why we're talking about that.
And Clay had a good one. Go to the Rollo site. I watched a video there to set mine up. Duh, Valerie. I'm sure
You're gonna link it for her, Clay?
Ay. I was just going through all the settings, trying to do it myself, but
here, I'm gonna find it real quick. Here we go. Yeah, this is what I used. Here, I'll link it.
Okay.
And it was easy.
It's been driving me crazy. I hate using a regular printer now.
Yeah, that is horrible.
And then having to tape it. Oh my gosh. I don't know how I went so long without getting a Rollo. That should have been my very first investment.
I said the same thing. It's one of those, once you make the switch, you're like, what was I thinking? I will tell you the other thing, and I'll give Clay credit on this one. A definite shout out to Clay. We don't agree on a lot of things with reselling, but he recommended GoDaddy bookkeeping. Oh my God, it is so much better for your bookkeeping. It's automated. And I said the same thing, like, why did I waste all those hours manually doing bookkeeping? So and I sent it to you in the Facebook chat, between the Rollo and GoDaddy bookkeeping saves so much time. Jen says, side note, when I started listing home goods, toys, electronics on Poshmark, my sales started to decrease, going to change it back. Yeah, well, my thought on that is, like, Poshmark, it's weird. Like they're trying to compete with eBay, but they're not. Like they're not set up to do that. And I think when people go to Poshmark, their audience is closed still, even though they offer that.
Mm-hmm.
I would, yeah, that stuff, definitely put that stuff on eBay.
Yeah, when they first changed to having more than just clothes, there were so many memes about Poshmark becoming a garage sale. And that's what it did look like. Like people weren't even taking
Yeah,
the time to list their stuff decently. It looked like a big garage sale.
right. Clay, what are you doing? Short. See, when he was sourcing for me, he never brought me shoes. Now I see him selling them on Poshmark. We're gonna fight, Clay. Just messing with him.
He sent me a picture. He had a big old pile of shoes.
When I said, "Hey, Clay, I'd love to get shoes," ask me how many shoes Clay brought me, sourcing for
How
me
many
from
shoes?
one. So what? He sent a picture of a big old cart full today, huh?
And it was just a single shoe. He didn't even bring you a pair. It was just one shoe.
Oh, boy, shady. That's all right. You know what? Texas Treasure still knows how to source, and I'll put myself up there with anybody sourcing. I'm actually kind of excited to get out there and source again. I taught Clay. Like here's the thing. I brought Clay into reselling. I try to tutor him up, but Clay's gonna do it his way. But I think I did give him a good foundation, and as Clay would say, he's dangerous. What do you say, Clay? Like he knows enough to be dangerous, but not enough to focus and grow an eBay store. And whatever happened with your crazy dude, your Canadian suitcase story, Clay? Never heard back on that. Yeah, look at him. Well, he's making excuses. He never looked at shoes. I know. I said, hey, I would love shoes. I never looked at shoes until today. Until he said, oh, Texas Treasures is selling shoes. Let me go. I'm just all right. Anyway, back to shipping.
The next thing I wrote down is probably something I can just Google. It was different mailers, boxes, what's best to use and the cheapest. Like, do you use flat rate boxes at all, or do you?
All right.
Just, like with your shoes, what's your normal go-to with shoes? Do you use a flat rate box, or do you go by weight?
I usually will use the poly mailer, to be honest, because you can get the cubic shipping and it's lighter. I will wrap it in bubble wrap, like if it's sneakers, most shoes. Now, if they're very expensive shoes or there's something like that could break, I don't know. I don't really sell heels, but maybe a pair of heels. Mm-hmm. I would put those in a box or in a really expensive pair of shoes. Mm-hmm. But most of my shoes get wrapped up in bubble wrap and go into a poly mailer. Because the actual shoe box, the 8x5x15, and I have a bunch of them right here. It's this one. You can get this off of USPS.com too. And it's really sturdy, but this box weighs 5 ounces. Mm-hmm. So when I weigh the pair of shoes, I know that. So if the weight of this box causes it to go over 2 pounds, it's usually cheaper to go in a poly bag. Okay. Because I don't know, the USPS they just keep raising the rates. It's annoying. So I would have the 10x13 poly mailer, maybe a 12x15. The largest one that you can use for cubic shipping is a 14x19. I would have some of those to put jackets in, overalls, things that you can't quite squeeze into any of the other options, the flat rate envelope or the padded flat rate envelope. In between those, and then I do the large box. It's just called large priority box. It's a 12x12x8, and then that shoe box is a 8x5x15 rounded up. And I know some people will use a medium flat rate box. I don't know exactly how much that costs to ship. I don't use those. Mm-hmm. But are you doing shoes right now, or are you just doing all clothing?
Just on Poshmark, because I was afraid to try and ship shoes on eBay, but that makes complete sense to use a poly mailer. So now I'm not as scared.
Yeah, I would keep the poly mailers, maybe get the 14 by 19, and then order those free the shoe boxes, the 8 by 5 by 15. And between that and maybe a small stack of the 12 by 12 by 8, and I can link all that to you later. It's on USPS.com.
Mm-hmm.
And the 12 by 12 by 8, really the only thing I have to ship in there are like cowboy boots, maybe snow boots, like really big boots that aren't going to fit in a poly bag, or the 8 5 15.
Okay, and that actually leads to my next question. So if you had something bigger, like some boots, which boxes are you allowed to Frankenbox? Like, I know flat rate boxes you're not allowed, not that you would ship it in the flat rate, but are you allowed to Frankenbox like the USPS priority boxes?
Yeah, as long as it's not a flat rate.
Okay.
Like when I used to do the new shoe game,
Mm-hmm.
where I would buy shoes in boxes, and they wanted the box, I would Frankenstein. What is it? I think it's a 1095 or a 1096L. It's like, I still have some of those. They're like rectangular boxes, but they're not wide enough.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a way to Frankenstein those, but I really only needed to do that if I was shipping a shoe box, or maybe like a really big pair of shoes. But then again, that 12 12 8 box
Mm-hmm.
also works really well for that. Um, and I watched a video on that, like how to Frankenstein. But the thing with Frankenstein boxes, I'm all about efficiency. So you're wasting a couple of minutes
Right.
too. Like
Mm-hmm.
the way I look at it, of course, I'm like Chris or Daily Refinement. Like I'm in his group, and we talk about your hourly rate, and you've got to factor in your time when you're figuring in your hourly rate. So anything that is not efficient, I factor that in, and I try to eliminate that, because time is money. Because I could be listing more. If it took me 4 5 6 minutes to Frankenstein a box, I know that's a long time to do one, or to dig for boxes, or to do anything like that. Well, in that time, I could get another listing up, and that listing is going to make me $12 to $15 profit on average. So it's like literally your time is money. And I know not everyone thinks that way, and that's fine. But if you're really wanting to raise your sales, then that's kind of the mindset you have to take on.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But yeah, you can Frankenstein.
Oh
What?
man, my notes are my questions.
No, you got good questions. I love the questions.
Well, this one, number 8, says USPS first class question mark.
USPS.
I don't know where I was going with that.
Yeah, USPS offers first class. That's £1 or less. Typically, it's going to be $6 or less to ship that, and I think my average is probably like $4 to $4.50. Depends on what you sell. If it's a lightweight top, $3, $4, $5. But yeah, they do offer that.
And this is also probably a stupid question, but everything that I've done so far for first class, I've just put in my little shirt-sized poly mailers. But like, if I wanted to, I could put it in a small box, right? Like just because it's first class doesn't mean it doesn't go in a poly mailer.
Yeah, I also have some 8 by 6 by 4 boxes. I think I bought those on Uline. Because I do, or at least in the past, I have sold quite a few hats or caps, and those fit in there perfectly, and that will go first class as well. So, like when you're thinking about your supplies, like you have to ask yourself, like what is your niche? What are you selling? And if you're selling the same things, it makes it easy. You don't need as many shipping supplies. If you're an everything seller like Clay, and I'm not throwing shade, I used to be an everything seller. I don't recommend it after you figure it out, but like he shipped a bowling ball. Like he had a Frankenstein box, and then he sent the wrong suitcase to Canada, and he had a Frankenstein.
Oh, no.
All that takes time. Like I'm like, y'all go ahead, y'all ship out your VCRs, your bowling balls, your China, all the stuff I've done before. I cringe when I think about shipping that out now. I'm like, nope. I'm gonna put these pair of shorts in this poly bag. I'm gonna put these pair of shoes in this poly bag, and
Put
man,
this
we are
bowling
rocking
ball
and
in my
rolling
poly bag.
on the poly bag. Like if y'all watch me on Daily Refinement on Wednesday, he does his live stream in the morning. Like I'm shipping during the call, and I'm just rocking and rolling. It's easy, it's stress free, and that's the way I like it. Yeah, Jen says she uses the same shipping basically. Jen, you are smart. Heavy Metal says I wrap the shoes and put in a 13-13-9 or a shoe box. The reason they do not get scratched. Are those more expensive shoes? Heavy Metal. Like if you think about it, like if you're selling a pair of Asics running shoes, like they're designed to be to take some abuse. And I will say this: I've shipped thousands of shoes and not one. I know some people are like they get caught up on. It's like I think it's how they feel. Like there's a guy in our group, Isaiah. He sells a lot of shoes. All of his go in an 8, 5, 15 box, but he's paying more on shipping, and it's just his present. It's in his head. But I've had zero customers complain about getting a pair of shoes in a poly bag. And I preface it with what I said. If it's a really nice pair, like some Allen Edmonds, some vintage Doc Martens, $100 plus pair of on cloud, then yeah, I'm gonna pay a little bit more and put those in the box. But I haven't had any complaints. Clay's been fighting with his Canadian friend. Yeah, it's easy to ship shoes. Shoes and clothes, I think, are the easiest thing. Well, I'm sure there's easier things, but they are easy to ship. All right. Oh, dang, I'm bad at keeping up with chat. Any more questions?
Yeah, 2 more.
All right.
Okay, so when I go to print something, a label for something that's sold on eBay, and I'm going down and I'm choosing what I want to use to ship, so one of the choices will say buyer selected. What does that mean? I can't pop it up, so I don't have any sold.
So you have the option to select multiple shipping options.
As a
like
buyer?
when you're listing, like as a seller, when you're listing, like these Nike running shorts, right? If I list these will ship first class. So normally I only give the flat rate first class shipping option, but in the past I have, like I might list these $4.99 first class, but maybe they want them a little quicker, so I can add a second option of priority mail $8.99, and when the buyer is making the decision, they can pick. I could even do overnight. I can do a lot of options, and then they're going to select which one of those options they want to pay. They usually, if you do that, are going to pick the cheaper option. But if they want it a little bit quicker, maybe they're going to pay up for shipping to get priority. I really don't do that much anymore because I just realized 99% of the time they were just doing the cheapest shipping. So once again, I'm wasting time by adding all those shipping options. So I just do one shipping option.
Okay. Huh. I didn't know that was a thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. Number 10. Do you see a difference between 1-day shipping versus 3-day shipping? Because currently I'm at 3-day shipping because I didn't trust myself to like get it out right
That
or
is
print
your
it.
best question, and that has the biggest impact. Well, besides screwing up shipping, but yes, it's going to affect how you show up in the search algorithm. It's also going to affect if you can get top rated seller status. Like once you meet the qualification for top rated seller, like the number of items sold, I forget what other little things you have to jump through. You have to offer 1-day shipping or less. I offer same day shipping with a 6 a.m. cutoff. It's still technically same day shipping, but they have to order by 6 a.m. because 6 a.m. is when I'm pulling my orders from the storage unit. So anything that came in the day before, the night before, up till 6 a.m. is getting shipped out. And by offering same day shipping, that's one of the things, like I did a video on the eBay quality listing report. That's one of the things that eBay measures. Anything they measure affects the search algorithm. It affects your placement. So yes, I would highly, highly encourage you to at least do 1-day shipping. What that would mean is if it sold today, it ships tomorrow. As long as you can get to the post office, or even better yet, if you can get your mail carrier. Like I set it up through USPS, where they do scheduled pickups. Did a video on that too, here at the house, and they come and scan them. But if you can get to the post office or get it scheduled, do 1 day, you're going to get a big boost, and you will see it in your traffic tab. You'll show up a lot higher in the search tab, which ultimately is going to lead to more sales. Yeah.
Okay.
3 days.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing now. Well, when I very first put listings up, I realized that I didn't have ink in this printer, and I couldn't get my Rollo printer to work. So I was having to go down to the shop where Chad works and print out my labels. But now that I got most of it figured out and I have the link to go and figure out my Rollo, I'll go change it to 1 day.
Yeah, get that set up, and yeah, go 1 day. Yeah, Heavy Metal's giving some good tips in the chat, by the way. And I guarantee you, well, I mean, your store is still small, but as your store grows, it'll pay off for sure.
Mm-hmm. Now, when you drop your stuff off at the post office, do you just go put it in the big blue thing that you don't have any contact, or do you go have them scan it in?
Well, when I did drop off, I no longer drop off, because USPS has the they will pick up. Like, you can go to USPS.com and sign up for scheduled pickup, where your mail carrier will actually come to your house. I leave mine on the front porch in a big bin. He will scan them in, and it saves me 45 minutes to an hour going to the post office every day. There's another 7-8 listings I can get up in that time. 10 listings maybe, depending. But when I did go to the post office, there for a long time, I waited in line. It's going to depend on your post office too. The best bet is to wait in line and make sure it gets scanned. But ours had one of those big blue bins, and I trusted it enough to drop it in there, because I know twice a day they scan those. So
yeah,
depending on your volume too, I would look into getting mail kick up, because the mail carrier that delivers your mail will also scan your packages, so it'll save you a trip to the post office. And that's one of the key things is and because I'm same day shipping, like I need that scan. If you were like in your case, 3-day shipping, it probably doesn't matter, because if you bring it the same day, like it's supposed to get scanned in at the post office, or in my case, the mail carrier. From the post office, it goes to the regional distribution postal center. It also gets a scan there, and every time it makes a stop to another regional office or to the destination post office, it's getting update scans throughout. But that first scan, you need to make sure that first scan is within the time that you told eBay that you're shipping. So in your case, 3 days.
And I've been dropping it off within 24 hours. I just had that little wiggle room of 3 days. I don't know. Winter time just kind of scares me too if I do 1 day. And like, because yesterday, or when was it icy? Yesterday? Day before? I don't know. It was just like straight up ice everywhere.
Yeah. Are the mail carriers good at picking up even in adverse?
No, when it was icy, it was like 7 p.m. and she was outside doing her route, and I was like, holy crap.
Well, even at 7 p.m. though, you have until midnight. Actually, you have until midnight eBay time, which is Pacific, which is 3 a.m. Eastern. I guess it'll be like 1 a.m. Mountain Time, I think, or 2. I don't know, but you have until midnight East Coast time for it to get scanned in. You may want to look into create an account through USPS.com, and then from there you can schedule pickups. And you can actually, if you look through my videos a couple of weeks ago, I actually made a video on how to do that. So if that's something you might be interested in, just check out that video.
Okay.
The thumbnail has like a mail carrier on
Okay.
the postal pickup. It's pretty easy once you do it. Jen says, Val, just don't be late on your shipping time, or that drops your percentage. Yeah, just make sure you can hit that time. But if you're doing mail pickups, then that takes away almost all the worry. I think I've been doing mail pickups for over a year. I think 2 or 3 times the mail carrier hasn't picked up. And it's usually like when his second or third string carrier's in. And what I do is I have a reminder on my phone for 3 p.m. It says check postal pickup, and it's almost always been picked up. And if the weather's nice, I have the garage door open and I'm friends with a mail carrier. I also always have him a Gatorade. I'm friendly with the guy. Once a quarter, I give him a gift card to a local restaurant. Like, you want to really get in good with your mail carrier because he's saving me an hour a day. That's 5 hours a week. He's making my life so much easier. But back to my reminder, if for some reason they haven't picked up, my post office local one closes at 4:30, so that gives me an hour and a half to scoop them up and take them there and make sure they get scanned in. So you do want to have redundancies and everything. Always think of like what happens if. But I'm telling you, the post. How you feel about the Rolo? All right, Rolo, GoDaddy bookkeeping, postal pickups. Those 3 have saved me so much time. So much time. Yeah, Clay's gonna get hit for drop shipping. Clay drops packages all over the DFW. And there are people like you can, and they can assign you as a drop shipper because they're like, why are these packages going from all these different zip codes if you do it too much? I've known a few people that have had that, and then your traffic is greatly affected. So I would try to use the zip code that you ship from, if at all possible. Like the zip code where you're registered at.
Well, we only have one post office, and I'm fine dropping them off. It's like 2 minutes away on my way home from my hike in the morning.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. I'm jealous of the hikes. I love hiking. That's actually all right. So we talk about this in the group. Like, we're reading Atomic Habits, and I'm leading that book club study. And like one of the books E-Myth Revisited, we were talking about you got to have a vision, right? You got to have a big, yeah. You need to join our group. You get so much from it. But like the big why for me is like, I want to be able to get my wife where she doesn't have to teach anymore in the next 2 years. And then the second big goal I have is I want a vacation. I want a second house up in Colorado because it's so beautiful up there. I'm so jealous. Like, usually go there every year, and man, I just love Colorado. I'd be so happy. I could just have a tiny house, even just be outdoors all the time. But anyway, yeah, that's a lot of what drives me. Like, why I work so hard. It's like sometimes you got to have big goals, and then you got to like the meta picture of reselling, right? Whatever your goals are, make it what works for you, and then develop the habits and the knowledge to be efficient to be able to reach those goals. That's kind of my motto. Let's see. KK says, when listing pants, do you think it's the ankle measurements? You talking about like the hem? I guess that's at the bottom of the leg opening.
Like
yeah.
The leg opening.
Yeah, I do waist, front rise, inseam, leg opening. I do all 4 because that'll tell them if it's flare or boot cut or skinny.
I've started to add hip measurements because I saw a lot of vintage stuff too. But even like on Levi's, like you would think you'd know what kind of Levi's fit you, but I get it a lot. You know what the hips are, and then I have to go all the way out to my inventory and grab the thing and measure it. So I've just been doing that lately.
Yeah, I'm out. That's as most as I'm doing. Every once in a while, I get those crazy questions like that. My standard response is, "Thanks for asking," but and it's true. The item is packaged offsite in inventory. We include many measurements, and this is all in a blurb, a copy and paste. that hopefully can help you in your buying decision. We also offer free returns if they don't fit. But those type of customers I don't want. The ones that ask all those questions, that is just trouble.
My favorite is, hey, do you think this will fit me? Maybe, I don't know.
I don't know. I have no idea. Look at the measurements. Yeah, people have different plans for the post office is such a big part. And if you're doing heavier stuff, UPS and FedEx, especially UPS, is actually cheaper. I still am only shipping USPS because I'm factoring in the time to go to the UPS office to save $2 or $3 on a pair of boots on shipping. It's going to take me 45 minutes, and my time is worth way more in an hour than $2 or $3. So I used to do that stuff before I really kind of thought about like time is money. And then the other thing, like I tell Clay, it's like you don't always have to try to make more money. You could be just, I want to be really efficient, get my work done early, and then have the rest of the day to wear vintage robes or whatever your heart desires. Yeah, definitely. I would definitely include that measurement. It's even better if you could, if you do flat lays. Tech and Sports has a ruler where you can photograph the item with the measurements from the rulers, like two rulers side by side. That's faster than measuring and putting them in like I do. But I can't. I'm too tall. I'm 6'4". For me to do flat lays would kill my back. So I don't do that. But if you could, that would be even better and save you time. Any more shipping questions, Val?
Nope. I already asked you if I could look at one of your descriptions. You showed me that. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Okay, I got two that are off topic from shipping.
Oh, that's
stock photos on eBay. Are they allowed? Nope. Okay.
No. Some people do it.
Memo to self. Go take the. I mean, I didn't put them as my main. They're like the fourth picture in, but like.
Yeah. Well, that's safer. But like they scan like those pictures. Like there's a file name attached to them in these companies. Like it's like speeding, right? You could probably do it, and you're probably not going to get caught. But if you do it enough, eventually you will, and that's a Vero on your account. And to me, the most important thing on your account is keeping the account health, because literally that account could be worth millions of dollars. And I'm not going to do anything that's going to jeopardize the account health. So no, I would not recommend that.
I'll go remove those when we're done here.
Hold on, let me interject on this one. I got Clay's mess on me. He goes, "What? Don't have to make more money? You mean like how?" Clay, you drive all over the place with your Benz pickups, selling to all these crazy people. Just take your happy ass home and list that stuff and make money.
But you know what would pay for your gas, Clay? Put it on YouTube, and get monetized, and it pays for your gas to go sell. Because I would watch that. Like if I found a YouTuber that did that, like I watch all the time people that sell to like Plato's Closet and Buffalo or whatever that other one is called. Because that's not something that's like local.
Oh, Buffalo Exchange.
So it's interesting.
Yeah, and then you're gonna flood that little market too. But no, I get it. I give him a hard time. I think there's a market for some of that stuff. It just depends on your model. I haven't seen a business model of reselling locally that's going to make the money that I want to make. I have seen models of people making millions of dollars listing on eBay. So I'm going to follow that. But Clay doesn't have the same goals, and that's fine. So, you do have to figure out what works for you. And, I am a little jealous because it would be nice to take all that stuff and just, but you're not, think about it. Like you're basically a wholesaler at that point because they're only going to give you a certain percentage because the item's worth a lot more money. And I don't want to run a wholesale business. I'm not set up to run a wholesale business. I'm running retail. I want to maximize what I can get, but I don't know. Everybody's just got to figure out their own models.
And part of that's just me being nosy. I want to see what he sells.
I keep telling
people are buying.
I keep telling him get his YouTube going, like his He needs to do the entertainment one. I think it'd get way more views than a reselling channel. What's your guy? Your creepy clown dude, Clay? But I don't know. Clay's got a lot of ideas, but I think here I'm giving unsolicited advice. Just figure out what you want to do. You can't do everything, right? Like I think it stresses me out, all the ideas and all the things that he does. I'm like, oh, that's so stressful. Like I found the beauty in this, how much less stressful it is just to niche down and to do one or two things. It's just so much easier to me. KK says, do you use a camera phone? Yeah, I use a Galaxy S21 with when I photograph, I have this lanyard and it just goes on my neck. So that saves me a step.
That is the most simplest, best idea I've ever seen. I get so frustrated having to pick my phone up because it's slippery and hard to pick up. Holy crap, my mind just got blown.
I will link that to you also.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, it's all these little tips, man, they compound. That's why I'm in the group and we talk about all this stuff all the time. We're always trying to shave time because time is money. And not only is it money, time is valuable. Like what very few resellers list more than 10 items a day. Like literally I could ship and have 10 items listed and be done by 10 a.m. every day and then just go hike the rest of the day. But that's not my goal, but I could do that. So that's the other way I think people should look at it versus, oh, I don't want to list more. Well, you don't have to, but get your listings done and then have the rest of the day to do whatever. Yeah, Clay's thinking about a lot of stuff. Just do it, Clay.
And then real quick, Jen asked when I started eBay, and it was November of last year.
Uh-huh.
So not that long ago.
No, we're gonna get your eBay up and running.
Which brings me to another question that's off topic of shipping, but so I was watching a live stream of that daily refinement guy talk about, and I don't know his whole story and all of his beliefs and stuff.
Uh-huh.
But he was talking about choosing one platform and just like sticking with that one.
Uh-huh.
So, and it made sense to stick to one and save time that way. Like it made so much sense. He said his sales went up crazy on eBay when he dropped Poshmark.
Yeah.
Which I'm not there yet. Poshmark is my baby and it's still doing really good for me. And here we are getting me up on eBay. But like in the long term of things, do you agree with him in only having one platform?
Mostly. I actually in theory, yes. There's always caveats, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in his case, he was selling clothes and shoes on Poshmark. Like his store, he got up to I think 33,000 items. I mean, that's just not going to work on Poshmark. Like he would only get an item shared every 3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
So I think he was making like 30,000 a month on Poshmark. And I don't know the exact numbers. And maybe it was 50 or 60,000 on eBay. These are just rough numbers per month. And once he stopped Poshmark, his eBay sales went up like that first month, like 40 or 50. So he got everything that he was getting on Poshmark plus an extra 10 or 20,000. And since then he's grown where he's over 1 million in sales per year. The reason being is it comes down to time, right? That you know, you've got to share your items on Poshmark. That's a problem number one. So you either got to do it yourself, you got to get somebody to do it, or you got to get something that technically you shouldn't be using, but a lot of people use. And even with that, at 10,000 is the buffer. You can't really go above that, or you're going to get a temporary ban on Poshmark. So it's okay. I think if you had a small store, I think if you had a small store, a small shoe store, I would say explicitly, because I do think shoes sell really well on Poshmark, and there's probably some clothing items that sell better on Poshmark. So there are some exceptions, right? If you're selling these niche items that do better and you're small, then
Mm-hmm.
it's probably okay to do that. But in general, if you're trying to grow a big store, um, it's it if you all right, like the book The One Thing by Gary Keller, we went over that book in the book club. The 80-20 rule, you only if you can't if your focus is spread out, you're never going to really become a master and be as efficient as you can. But if all your effort is on one platform, and I would do the one that gives you the most sales, the most traffic, and that's eBay.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think in general terms, it is better to sell on one platform. And there's so many platforms out there, and I think everybody gets shiny object fever. Um, and the proof is in the pudding. Like his numbers have went up since he made the switch. So
Mm-hmm.
for a general, like what he would say is he's a bread and butter seller. Like he's selling mall brands, Express, J. Crew, Banana Republic, um, common items, and he has he has two employees now, and I think they're doing like 140 or 150 listings per day. And if your average profit is like $10 per item, and you're getting say 150 listings up a day, that's a lot of profit. I don't think that works on Poshmark.
Yeah.
Like we talked about earlier, Poshmark is designed for people that want to sell out of their closet. They
Mm-hmm.
don't have all the tools that eBay has. I think they've done well with what they have, but I don't think they're ever really going to compete. Now, in my case, since I'm about to go just shoes,
Mm-hmm.
like I have sold some shoes on there for more money than I get on eBay. But even in our group, we had a long discussion about this, and the consensus was even as a shoe seller, you should only be on eBay because you can get more listings on eBay. Was ultimately it. And I'm struggling with that because when I look at those big shoe sales on Poshmark,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That's something I'm wrestling with. But in general, yeah, it's better just to be on one platform. Tech would probably be mad if he heard me even saying there's exceptions. He's like, y'all don't listen. How Tech feels with us in our group, because man, the dude sells $7,000 a day on average on eBay, like 250, 300 items a day getting listed. He makes like 2.5 million, I think, is I think what he grossed last year. He has a simple setup. He explains it to everyone in the group. Not one person follows it exactly. And but he's patient, but at the same time, I know he's like, man, I keep telling y'all how to do this.
That would be pretty frustrating.
And like, I probably do 70% of what he says, and I have really good results. And, even Chris will say he's probably at maybe 90%. But that's sometimes how I feel, like, and trying to give advice, and like, why do people even ask? Because I'm not saying you, but like, a lot of people just like, okay, well, yeah, I'm gonna do my thing.
I have been doing what you've told me so far.
Yeah,
Except
I'm not
for the
putting you in that.
description. But I'm gonna go fix those now that I know that there's such thing as a custom template. I didn't know that existed.
Yeah, well, the custom template makes it easy. It saves time again. And I'm not saying that my way is the perfect way. I'm not saying that at all. Like, my way could be improved. I know my photo setup, the inefficiencies of it. Like, I'm taking too many steps. If I did flat lays, it would be faster. Um, but I'm just taking what I've learned, and then what works with me and my system, at least currently, and try to share it. I mean, that's the whole purpose, is to help you, and then others, and to listen to other people's ideas.
Mm-hmm. So I've got a question for Clay that's
Mm.
off topic again. So
No, it's
that
fine.
comment that you just had up there,
Which
where
one?
he takes a picture. So are you saying you spend like $1 or less on an item, and then she buys it for $8 to $10. And do you ever comp any of the stuff yourself to be like, oh, this is like a rare vintage shirt, I should probably sell this myself, or no?
Good questions.
That's just me being nosy.
Like my fear would be, and I don't know his answer to this. That would be my fear. Like, I'm selling her something for $8 that I could sell for 100 or more.
Like, I'm so interested in this, Clay. You just need to make videos. Like, how often is she willing to buy stuff from you? Like, is she selling it fast enough that you could do this like every single day?
Well, I know she has a setup. Like, she's in a place, like I haven't been up there, just from talking to Clay, where, you know, she has a booth or a store or something where she has foot traffic that comes in. Comps are sold comps, Clay. Like looking to see what that item has sold for on eBay.
Because what he does, it sounds fun. I wouldn't mind doing that. And it seems like he sells quite a bit to this lady.
You know,
But,
I'm
like,
gonna
I want
change
to
my
know,
whole model.
is
I'm gonna
she
come
like
up there and I'm gonna take over Clay's bins and I'm gonna go sell to this lady.
make a video? I
Since
want to
he don't
see.
want to bring me those shoes, keeping all those shoes. I'm coming up there, Clay. You watch out.
Are your guys' bins crazy with the shoes? Like, are people fighting over them, or is it relatively calm?
The one, well, we have one in Fort Worth and one in Dallas. The Fort Worth one, they're not all together in one section. They're like in the hard goods, and a lot of them are scattered. The one in Dallas, I've only been to twice, and I didn't see the shoes. From what I've heard from other people, people get a little aggressive there for the shoes.
Yeah. Colorado, we are crazy over our shoes.
Yeah, shoes are good. I wish Clay would source me some shoes, but I see now he's doing his thing.
Oh, she has 2 stores. It's got 50 items, maybe 400.
Now, if it's items that really don't sell on eBay, then yeah, that is the way I would do it. Now, this was me. If I might start doing this. I'm gonna come down there. I'm gonna have 2 carts. I'm gonna have 2 sections. It's gonna be an eBay section, and it's gonna be a sell to this lady section. And on the way, I'm gonna be very efficient. I'm gonna drop it off to the lady. I'm gonna get that cash, and then I'm gonna go list the good stuff at home. Better watch out, Clay. I'm coming for your business.
50 items. 1.49. So that's like what? It's about $100 for 50 items. That's estimating high. That's like,
yeah,
if you had
our the bins he's going to is cheap. It's 99 cents a pound, so it's really like
what? That's crazy. I was calculating at $1.49 a pound. Holy smokes!
Yeah,
Clay,
it's about,
do this every day. Go every day and do this.
Clay don't want to work every day.
50 items a day to this lady.
Clay ain't gonna work every day, Val.
Man, do it, Clay.
No, I'm gonna go do it.
If I had that option, I'd do it too. Man, I'd at least go like 3 times a day. Or not 3 times a day. Oh my God, no. 3 times a week.
3 times a week. Yeah. What's up, drunken thrifter? Thanks for coming by. We talked a lot of shipping. Now we're just kind of talking general reselling talk.
Now we're talking about Clay.
Yeah, well, I'm talking smack. I don't know why I want to not fight. I want to argue with Clay today. I'm self-aware. Like, even on our text, like, Clay, we're really, really good friends, and we text every day. And I don't know, like, we kind of got into it. Not got into it. I told him, because it's true, we push each other. But like, I shouldn't even air. I'm not gonna air this out. Never mind. I don't know. I'm just in a weird mood today.
As long as you're not fighting with me, I'm okay.
No, I don't want to really fight. Clay's a good guy. I will say Clay did a great job. He's been sourcing for me. It's just I'm changing my model. And to be fair, like, he's probably upset with me. Like, I was paying him well too, per piece to source for me. So he was making good money. But my sell-through rate with the clothing is not where I want it to be. So I want to just focus on the things that work the best, which for me are shoes and honestly men's jeans. And so for him, to make money. I don't know if he can find enough men's jeans, and he doesn't want to source shoes for me. So I don't know. So I'm back to the old route, and so he's probably a little upset, which I can understand. I do. A flaw of mine is I will change a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a sickness. But
How
so
many
Clay's
different
now
YouTube names have you had?
Texas Treasures,
Uh-huh.
Dr. Denim. I think that's it, right?
I thought you had one in between when we had the book club, or when we were doing books a lot. There was another one.
Oh yeah, there was something about book. What was that one? God, I
I
don't
don't
even
remember.
remember.
It
I
was
don't.
about books or reading, and then
Yeah, yeah.
back
I've
to
changed.
Texas Treasures.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to stay with Texas Treasures. I like the alliteration, but yeah, I get bored, and I have squirrel brain. Like Chris talks about this. They I have squirrel brain. Like, but I will say I've been doing clothes for over a year solid. So that's probably the longest I've gone in a single niche without changing. But I think I've accrued enough knowledge over that time to know like what sells well and
Mm-hmm.
what doesn't. And that wouldn't mean if I'm outsourcing and if I see, a cricket polo shirt for $1, I'd probably still pick it up because, I know those are going to sell for 30 plus. But in general, like I want to, if you take the Pareto's law or the one thing, you go 80-20, and then his thing with the one thing is you narrow it even further. Like I've narrowed it down to clothing. I'm not selling bowling balls or suitcases or women's lingerie. Well, I guess that could be clothing. I'm not selling that. Um, even though I sell some Victoria's Secret, I sold a hoodie. But anyway, but if I narrow that down to even more, like what is selling the best within that for me, and I can look at this through the eBay quality listing report. Like I say, I'm top 100 in jeans, and I know I could be top 100 in shoes if I just listed more. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna pour fuel on that fire.
In my short time of being on eBay, I've already seen like outdoor mountainy brands for men and Eileen Fisher. Those are like my two things that are selling consistently over there.
Yeah, and I think that's important to look at that and to be aware. And obviously, if you could just find those two items, then your store would be amazing. But then the other thing is, well, can I source enough of what I'm trying to niche down to to make my listing goals and ultimately my sales goals? Like if
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to do shoes, but if it turns out I couldn't get enough shoes, well then I could always add in. But
Mm-hmm.
I know, like, what does he have? Where like he got me a pair of Denizen Levi's, even though I told him not to get that anymore. And like those are very slow selling. Now, if they're Levi's 501, Levi's 550, Levi's 560, silver top, now those are good. But all of that comes down to just growing the knowledge of staying in your niche long enough to accrue that. So yeah, and I'm sure I love your idea of the Rocky Mountain brand. Soul Satisfaction. Oh no, that's my eBay store. Oh yeah, was that on YouTube? Maybe I don't know. Jen, I've been on eBay about 3 years, but went full time. Clay and I quit teaching. When was it, Clay? August of 2020 or 2021? Like right when the pandemic was starting, and I've been like going hard for a bit over a year now. Yeah, Drunkens in Ohio, Texan by birth, love it. Yeah.
Is that where Nick Pick Thrift goes to those bins?
Pick Thrift, Nikki. I think that would be fun to get like a giant U-Haul truck and like just travel. You could write all that off too. Just travel across the country, hit all the bins. That'd make a hell of a YouTube series.
It'd be better. It'd probably be cheaper too to rent those like RVs.
Ooh.
And then you have your comfortable home and a ton of room to store stuff as long as you're not taking too many people with you.
Yeah, that's a total write-off. But now it'd be hard to list and sell, but like just sourcing.
I mean,
Interesting.
yeah. I mean, you could still, if you had enough drafts or you had somebody helping you a VA, you could still technically be listing. And if like your wife wanted to ship for you,
Yeah. If you got an 18-wheeler, you could have a mobile storage unit back there. Get your Wi-Fi, and of course, I don't know it dropping
your
off.
eyes
You
got
probably
all big and bright.
I know, like there goes squirrel brain. Like, ooh, you probably get flagged as a drop shipper. Like, man, he ships all over the country. Look.
Uh-oh, did you freeze? Just me. I've been to quite a few bins. I don't know if you can still hear me, but I'll still talk to you. We have 4 here in Colorado. There's 3 in Denver and 1 in Colorado Springs. I've been to 1 in Pennsylvania. Is that where it was? Jersey? I don't know where it was. It was horrible. And then there was 1 super good one in Flagstaff. So I've been to 6 different bins.
Why is my camera flashing? Weird. Gotta have technical difficulty, or it's not a live for me. All right. Well, I'm starting to get hungry. Any last questions, Val? And then I guess we can talk. We can figure out the next topic, unless you know what you want to talk about next week.
No, I'm not sure yet. We can talk about that real quick after.
All right. Yeah, we can talk. Olive oil, retired education.
Olive oil.
Yeah, we were talking at one point. Like, I was gonna buy shoes from you. I don't know whatever happened. I guess we just forgot it. I don't know. But like, I have sourced, like, when I go to vacation in Colorado, like, I will stop up there. Part of all because I can then write off that trip. But I just love sourcing, and y'all have a lot of good mountain brands and shoes. So, all right, guys. Well, thanks everyone for dropping by. I got to go eat some dinner. I'm hungry. Hope y'all had a good week. Check us next Friday. We'll have another eBay reselling topic. Smash the like button. Consider subscribing. If any of these questions, most of these topics, I have more in-depth videos I've made that you might want to check out. And if you're not already subscribed to Valamilk, go over there and subscribe. I hear she's got new content coming soon, so we can't wait for that. All right, everybody have a good night. We'll see you on the next one.
Bye, guys.